Well, somebody got an alert, so let's see if the alert was accurate. Somebody got a text as I was leaving that right by my house, the police had to tape off all kinds of street and there's something going on. Whoop-de frickin' do. Yeah, that's Eugene, Oregon now. Now, let me make sure to make this clear. This is like right by the university. And so that particular little area, this is going on, this one alley, which all the blocks divide. They divide in quarters by alleys, sort of easement and alley. And yeah, so there's apparently something going on in this alleyway, and this is one of these alleyways that the police just won't run off the homeless who just decide, oh yeah, I'm going to live here. No, I'm going to this is where the maniac, this is the same alley for those of you who saw when I first moved into this place, there was the screaming maniac. This is the same alleyway that dude was always like just sleeping on like discarded furniture, and he would wake up in the morning and just start screaming. That was awesome. But so what was kind of interesting is that this person tells us, okay, the police are doing something on the street nearby, blah blah blah, and I was like, oh yeah, that street, and talking about how frequent that is, And then finally, like, I'm talking to this one coworker, and I was like, no, I told everybody. I was like, one, I saw this in the 80s and 90s, and we all remembered what this was. There was a giant, it said there was a gang rape in Central Park, and that was one of the great turning points of crime in America. And now, all the woke white people want to act like these young men who were gang rapists were railroaded by some racist system when there were victims or there were witnesses. There were young men who were there who didn't participate, but they were witnesses. And I mean, there was a lot of them too. Like, there was a lot of people who witnessed, a lot of other young men in this group who witnessed it. And there was plenty. This was actually a completely above board investigation. These young men fundamentally admitted what they did. And what it is that this has made New York, New York is New York. New York City is the kind of place where that happens. And this is, sure enough, right up the alley. There's the red and blue lights. Wonder what's going on. Yeah, something happened. Let's see. We'll see if on this alleyway, we'll see if somebody's, what's going on. Yeah, up around the corner, something happened. Apparently it was some kind of shooting or something. So yeah, shootings in Eugene, Oregon. What was it? A woman was attacked with acid in Eugene, Oregon, I think this week. Like, this is what blue enclaves are becoming. They're becoming these places. Like, so just the other day, let me make sure I explain this in a way that nobody was trying to be yellow-bellied. They literally, it's just a part of the culture here to be cowardly, yellow-bellied chumps. And so, this guy, he was obviously some skinhead who got out of lockup, and he's fucked up on the streets, looking, and he's looking to get a rise out of somebody. And so he decided he was going to mess with one of the girls who was working, and I mean, he just kept playing with her, such that eventually, I mean, she was, she was like crying, and nobody on the staff really understood. Like, call the person in charge, get the security guy down here. This dude gets kicked out now, like this, but nobody knew what they were seeing was the issue. They didn't really understand like what this guy was doing to my coworker. Like, they didn't understand. Like, no, this guy, this is why this guy's here. He's an ex-con. He's a fucking some AN skinhead type guy who's trying to get a rise out of people, and probably high on some fucking drugs. And sure enough, the security guy told me later, he's like, oh yeah, that guy was high as a kite. You know, and it was just one of these things. Oh, I left my goddamn thing at work. Oh well. Hopefully they won't throw it out like dummies, being I kept it in a bag. In like a cloth bag, like the bag that everybody knows is mine, because it's a bag from the local bookstore that, because I buy so many books, I started having trouble walking them home without a bag. As you guys know, I have a problem spending money on books. No, it's not a problem. I could stop anytime. I could stop buying books. I could totally stop. I could stop anytime. I don't need another book. So, yeah, but so I had to bring up to this coworker, white women don't like violence. And I was like, and that's how all this is going to stop. All of this is going to stop when finally it starts becoming that the white women are beyond tired of it. They're getting there. You're starting to see it with white suburban moms, recently suburbanated moms, but soon it's going to be the white women who are left on the shelf. White women who are left on the shelf, shelf dwellers, as I like to put it, shelf dwellers that are living in blue enclaves are going to be less and less safe all the time. They're going to be less and less and less safe. And at some point, they're going to have to actually completely and totally face reality, which I must say, the older I get, the more I realize, like, no, there's almost nothing less. Women don't like reality. Women really don't like the real world. They really, really, really don't like the real world, dealing with the real world on the real world's terms. I just, the older I get, the more I'm starting to like really pick up on that. And and also the thing of like diminutive, yeah, like men who don't realize like you're going to have to work. You're going to just have to choose which kind of work you want to suffer through. I'm sorry, that's it. But I just had to basically break it down to these two people at work. I was just like, no. At some point, the white women are going to get tired of this. They're going to get tired of being fucking scared. At some point, these very confused, agreeable Asians are going to stop listening to the girls. Because that's what, every time you hear it, who is it? It's some Chinese female, some American-born Chinese female, or some American-born Korean girl, or something who is making some shit up about, the white supremacy and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, you were in honors classes, bitch. Nobody knows you're a Korean on the phone, The only way that they know you're an Asian, an American-born Asian, is that your diction is too good. You don't have any form of regional accent whatsoever, so therefore you are probably Asian. This is actually a weird thing that when you grow up around American-born Chinese and American-born Asians, there is a way they speak English properly. But I mean, it actually sounds different. And until you know until you've listened to it years and years and years and years in English class after English class after honors English after AP English, you start to pick up on it. It's not the same way that like various groups of European descended people talk. It's different. It's a different way that yeah, it's just different. And it might also have been a generational thing. It could have been generational. But it was just a subtle little things. The way that certain words are said, intonation, really it came out of intonation, that and so it's weird when you meet somebody who's like, that they're hardcore Cantonese, of hardcore Cantonese descent, and their whole thing is that they'll sound different. Like every once in a while I'll meet like some Asian dude who he sounds hella different. And I'm like, what the, and it's because of like, he's from like, he just has a very different background. We might be Korean from South Central or something like that. Like, you'll meet these guys that you'll be like, what the fuck, but it's just different. It's just different sounding. It's hard to describe too. It's even funny when you hear like Asians who, like, they grew up around the hood, so that there's ways that they kind of talk hood, and it sounds similar, but it sounds different. It's yeah, but that was then. That might have changed as time's gone on. But all right, yeah. Why women don't like violence? That's the part about it. I love that, like. And one of my coworkers like, yeah, nobody likes rape and killing and stuff. And I was like, yeah, you'll see. All these motherfuckers are going to get theirs. But it's going to take this period of time where white women suddenly just decide, like, yeah, yeah, let's just let's just sort these criminals out. I mean, I want to do fabulous things again. Like, I want to do things that are fabulous, but like, it's fabulous. Not like this, where I'm afraid of like all the bums because they might kill me. All right, later.